It's mobility, isn't it? Of course it is. It's mobility overhaul, and we're getting stuck back into it now. We're pairing things up, the big muscle groups. We're going to be doing the quads this morning and the hamstrings, okay? Big, powerful muscle groups in a large surface area to cover. So we're going to be spending a lot of time on these this morning. It's going to take the full class. We're going to start off with the quads. This morning, you're going to need your foam roller, of course you are. You're going to need a massage ball, and you're going to need a seat of some sort, okay? But don't worry about that. Don't go and grab that now. We'll get that when we have a wee quick water break when we move on to hamstrings. So all you need to start with this morning is, of course, your foam roller. Now, the quads, for those of you who don't know, the quads are those big muscle groups that run up the front of your thigh there. That's as much as you need to know, okay? I'm not going to go and start going into the anatomy of it all. You simply need to get this foam roller. You're simply trying to work the entire width and the entire length. And remember, newcomers or old comers is even, we're working against the grain of the muscle tissue. It does not work if you're just rolling up and down on this thing. Yep, it might feel good, but we're not really achieving anything. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Okay, I'm going to lie side on. All I want you to do is we're going to start up at the crease of the hips today. Okay, so I want you simply to lie on your foam roller as I am. Okay, you can see my nice pink foam roller. All I'm doing is not on the hip flexors, but just below, okay, so just below your pelvis, where your quads are starting to appear. And all I want you to do is just simply start rolling side to side. Now, what I want to do this morning, okay, is rather than just pick the first painful spot you find, I want you to very quickly comb over the entire area. So see, for these first 30 seconds, I want you simply to go side to side, move down a wee bit, side to side, full width, okay? Keep going down until you hit just above the kneecap. So I want you to do that. Why? Because I want you to get to know your quads. It sounds daft, but I want you to see what you've got to deal with. If this feels like sheer agony, which I won't lie to you, it's not sheer agony for me, but it's pretty damn uncomfortable, okay? It's pretty damn sore. And what I'm doing is I'm doing this full exploration of my quads, is I'm finding all those areas of high pain, okay? I'm finding a lot of them, okay? Maybe you are too, maybe you're not. Maybe these quads are nice and supple, but it is one of those muscle groups that gets used and abused daily. And you'll probably find that no matter when you do it, you'll always find painful spots. So I want you to go all the way down and then all the way back up to where you started. Side to side, explore those quads, everybody, okay? Let's see what we've got to work with this morning. So you've combed over that entire surface area. You now know, yep, I've probably got about 20 painful spots I need to work on. So now I'm going to start again. This time I'm going side to side slowly until I get onto an area of high pain, okay? So I'm back up towards the top of my quads. And there we go, I'm finding an area of high pain. Now, I'll remind you, and I'll talk to you like it is maybe your first time here, but I do that anyway because it's very important that you get this right. So I've found an area of high pain, and I'm just going to start scrubbing, okay? And what I mean by that is just start rocking side to side and up and down, okay, over that area of high pain. It's as simple as that. Now, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm on ground zero, as in the bang center of that area of high pain. Now, with the quads, you might find that area of high pain is a very isolated area. It's very small, in which case your scrubbing is going to be very small. But for me right now, I've found an area that covers quite a large area. So as you can see, if you're watching, I'm actually getting quite big scrubs, okay, because this is a big, painful spot. Now, what I'm trying to achieve is to keep that muscle tissue completely relaxed while applying more and more pressure onto that foam roller. So I'm trying to load that foam roller up with more weight, but trying to break up that muscle tissue, okay? And don't be shy, okay? Get on the painful spot, try to stay relaxed. And as you can see, the sweat's already pulling out my head. This is hard work, okay? It's hard work, especially when it's painful. Now, part one, we always try to load up as much weight as we can on that problem area while trying to scrub the hell out of it, okay? And scrubbing is just simply imagining someone's elbows in there and they're getting stuck in to try and break up that muscle tissue. So that's all I'm doing, and that's where you have to be proactive, because it's very easy to go, oh, that's a wee bit too sore, so I'll just go off to the side of it. Try to stay on that area of high pain and try to stay relaxed. Next up, contract and relax. Remember that technique from last time? I want you to lock the knee out, apply a wee bit more pressure to the lock, and you'll feel the quads contract, and then I want you to simply relax. Contract them, relax them off and on while continue to scrub. Now the idea is we're trying to contract and relax over this area of high pain I'm working on, okay? So squeeze the hell out your quads, relax them, and continue scrubbing side to side on that area of high pain. And finally, okay, you don't need to do all this in the same order. You can do it in any order you want, is we're smashing and flossing technique. So I get on ground zero, the worst, most painful spot that I'm on just now, get right on it, get it into the foam roller, pin it, keep it relaxed, and now I'm going to simply lift that leg up, okay? So by doing that, lifting that leg up, I'm now lengthening out the quads, which might feel worse, it might feel better. And then when I straighten out again, okay? And all I want you to do is don't just start pumping that leg up and down. You have to try your best to keep that muscle tissue relaxed and make sure that the movement isn't moving you off of that painful spot, okay? So grind the hell out of it into that foam roller, okay? Now, as I've always said, you focus on that area of high pain and you focus on trying to get it better before you move on, okay? So instead of just spending 30 seconds on it, we spend quality time. And now I would say that is definitely quality time, everybody. So let's move on, okay? So all I'm going to do now is if you need a quick stand up, relax, breather, shake out, okay? Because that might have been hard work, okay? That might compose yourself. We're not finished on those quads we were on, okay? So don't disappear. Don't take a toilet break. We're straight back down. Same quad, same leg. Working from where we just done. And now I'm going to continue traveling down my quads, okay? So I've just spent 2 minutes on that area of high pain, and now I'm going to continue moving further down until I discover that next area at high pain. And for some people, you might not have to move far. And I know for me, I certainly don't, because there's another spot of high pain. Remember, as you go down, you're going to find little areas of pain, but it's the worst ones. The ones that almost make you wince when you roll on the foam roller, okay? The ones that go, oh, okay? That's the ones you're looking for. And as soon as you find one, same again, repeat the process. I'm trying to relax by breathing. Relax that muscle tissue as best I can. Then I start scrubbing it. And all the while I'm scrubbing, I'm just trying to get more and more weight into that foam roller, okay? And now depending on the surface area of that high pain, it's either going to be big scrubs or little scrubs, okay? Side to side. Work against the grain. You'll feel the muscle tissue going boom, 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 boom. It's not nice. It's not meant to be nice. But remember, with foam rolling, the more pain you can tolerate and handle, the more you're definitely going to get out of it. You can start contracting, relaxing any time, and you can start smashing and flossing by lifting that leg any time, okay? It doesn't have to be in a set order. However, I always recommend that you try to spend that initial part getting as much weight loaded into that quad, into the foam roller as you can. And when you feel you're getting a hefty bit of weight on, that's when I would encourage you to start smashing and flossing. Okay, so work it. I'm going to shut up now and let you focus on the task at hand. So don't think I've crashed. I'm still here. Do the work. Focus on those areas of high pain. And this will be the last one for this quad, okay? Because we are going to get down towards the knee soon. Just be proactive. That's all I can say, because it's so easy to just ignore those areas of high pain and go to the ones that feel nice. We're trying to break up all that knotted up muscle tissue. Good. Right, start finishing up there. Okay, again, stand up. Now I want you to get the ball. Now, if you don't have a ball, okay, get one. It's as simple as that. You can use your foam roller, but you really get the most out of this next part with the ball. Some of you will know what's coming, okay? What we're going to do now is still working, because we're just going to strip one quad at a time, okay? We're going to get this ball and see just around the top of your kneecap, where that muscle inserts, where you'll find most of the meatiest part of your muscles in the quads. That's the area we're going to be working. Now, area one we're going to be working on is the inside here, okay? And how we do that, you just have to simply lie down and we're getting the ball in there. We're not on the bone, okay? You don't want to foam roll the bone, there's no point, and it's just going to feel disgusting. So I'm simply going to work on that meaty part here on the inside of the quad. And how I do that is just simply lie on your front, get the ball, okay? Position it as you can see I'm doing now. Yep, and then all we're doing is big circles until you start to just break into that muscle tissue. Now I want you to work as close to the kneecap as you can without dodging on the bone, okay? And all I'm starting with here is just big circles. Now, rather than ending up, because as you roll this ball, it's probably going to end up out here, rather than putting yourself into some crazy position, as I always say, get a hold of the hand and reset if you need to, because you're going to have to, especially if you're making circles. Now, all I'm doing here, as you can see by the horrible look in my face, is just starting with big circles, trying to just break up that muscle tissue and help relax and get into it deeper until I start to feel that hideous pain that 9 out of 10 people will be getting in there. Now, what I want you to do is start with your big circles, start making them smaller and smaller as you close in on what feels like the worst part of that pain. Okay, now this is one where a lot of runners, if you do a lot of running, okay, you'll definitely be feeling a lot of pain in here, unless of course you keep on top of this thing. Okay, now this is brutal, this one. For a lot of people, 9 out of 10 I would say, this is pretty damn disgusting. Now I'm on there, I'm not giving it all. I would definitely say right now I'm on ground zero, as I call it, the worst part. Now I'm going to start loading on, pushing the leg down into it, okay, getting the weight in, pinning that worst spot, okay, and focusing on my breathing. Focus on your breathing for 2 reasons. It helps your muscles relax, but it also gives your brain something to concentrate on when this pain's there. Oh! And then I want you to, while you're pinning it down, start smashing the hell out of it, okay? So start scrubbing that painful area with the ball, okay? Now you get your body into whatever position you need to, and remember, if you start to lose the ball a wee bit, just move it back with your hand, okay? And all I'm trying to do is just grind up all that matted down muscle tissue, trying to restore some suppleness. And this is always a go-to one. If you get knee pain, this is always going to be your go-to one. It is for me, okay? So we're working on the inside of the knee, okay? We're working on the inside of the knee. You can apply this to the outside of the knee, and you can apply it to above the knee. But we're focusing on what is, for most people, the worst part, and definitely an area that needs a lot of work. So please, we're only going to spend 30 more seconds. Should be now loading a hell of a lot of weight on here. Technique-wise, can you contract and relax? Yeah, you kind of can, okay? If you can do that and if it feels like it's doing something for you, by all means do it. Can we smash and floss? Absolutely. Okay, now you can lift that foot off the floor, which is going to straight away apply more weight onto that ball. And then while you're pinning that worst spot, you can start trying your best. Okay, don't ease off. It's not the best angle to work with, but you can to some degree just start. Whoa. Can get smash and floss it, but ultimately it's about getting stuck into it, trying to break it up, inflicting as much pain as you can. Pain in the area that feels, you know, expected kind of pain, not pain shooting up and down your leg, needles. That's never what we want, okay? But unfortunately with this stuff, for a lot of us, especially if we don't take care of our bodies or we just push hard and don't do too much of this stuff, there's going to be a lot of pain in there. Right, I want you to ease out of that one. Okay, you don't need to stand up. Okay, right, next up. I want you to work on just above the kneecap now or outside. I'm going to give you the choice here. Okay, so, oh, geez, I've got my camera down low. I can't stand up. So I want you to do exactly what we've just done there. Apply it to just above the kneecap, or you can do it just outside, okay? Whatever you feel, I'm giving you the choice so you can have a quick play around, and we're going to spend 2 minutes on that, and then that's us done with these quads, okay? Now, the idea of the quads is, like any muscle tissue, while we're in this position, when you put your fingers on your skin should seem like it's just moving freely over the muscle tissue, okay? Now, you can apply this to any kind of part of your body, okay, as you go along. That skin, it sounds daft, I'm not having you on a laugh here, okay? We've done it with the whole feet thing where a lot of people had foot pain and the skin just seemed to be matted down, okay? That's what we're also trying to address as well. That muscle tissue and that skin should just glide freely, okay? So if things are starting to feel knotted, okay, you can get stuck into it. But you should feel these quads should feel nice and supple, okay? But we're going to keep working on them anyway, because chances are there's plenty of knots hidden away. I don't even know why I'm starting to talk. Let's go. So you're either going to work above the kneecap, okay, or you're going to work on the outside of the kneecap, similar to what we've done there. I'm going to be working just above, okay, for me. So there's no right or wrong. If you're going to go on the outside of the kneecap, everybody, you're going to have to go into that kind of position there, you see. Okay, but for me, I'm just going to simply get on top, okay, and just try to see, have a wee explore, okay? Now, if you've never done this before, try a minute on, you can do both. Try a minute on top, try a minute out the side, Just see what you can get out of it, okay? Now, it's a very limited area. Remember, I'm not on the bone, I'm just above the kneecap, and I'm just trying to grind up any pain that I can feel. So you're exploring, that's all we're ever doing with this stuff. You're exploring for pain, okay? And it's the kind of pain that you would expect, okay? Not pain that involves shooting up your leg, down your leg. So have a play around. Use the techniques I've given you here, okay? Contract, relax, put as much pressure on that ball as you can. Scrub the hell out of it, okay? And the perfect one, you can very well smash and floss with the quads simply by bending the knee, okay? So have a wee explore just around. All we're doing is just working around that kneecap, staying on the quads, okay? Now with this, it's perfectly normal. You've got to think about what we're doing, because some people are often surprised. If you go for a sports massage, do you feel good after it? Okay, chances are no. You feel that you've been beat up, even maybe the next day so much you don't feel good, okay? You feel like your body's had a bit of a beating. Now, realise what we're doing here, okay? We're crushing that muscle tissue between the bone and the hard foam roller and the ball, okay? Trying to break up that muscle tissue. So, yep, it's going to be tender, okay? So it's perfectly normal. If you're out exercising later on today, tomorrow, or even if you're just sat and you have a wee feel around this area, especially around what we're doing now, perfectly normal for that muscle tissue to feel tender. Some people might even have a wee bit of bruising, okay, but we shouldn't be getting anything more, okay? You should not be injuring yourself from this stuff, so don't be doing that. So I'm on here, we're going to spend 30 more seconds, okay? So get stuck into it, be proactive. If you're not in an area of high pain, find one. When you find one, get stuck into it and try to make the most of it. So we're spending quality time, teaming up the quads and the hamstrings so that we can get quality time on them rather than just doing full body where we only get 2 minutes and that is it. We're spending a good amount of time just covering as much of the surface area as we can. And if you're a beginner with this stuff and it just feels hellish no matter where you go, don't worry, okay? It's like starting exercise for the first time. The more you do it, the better you get. Relax there, everyone. And why I like this stuff as well, and why I always try to promote it and try to get people to do it, because you'll always see it, it's the truth. The mobility classes are always much quieter. Oh no, we're steaming up, bloody hell. The mobility classes are always much quieter because people don't want to set time aside to do this, okay? But for most of you following along now and following along religiously, you start to feel the benefits pretty quickly once you get into this. And you get to know your body, okay? You find your own little nooks and crannies of problems, okay? And anybody with injuries, people, you know, niggles and pains they've had for years, suddenly they realise that they can control them themselves, they can keep on top of them, or even make them better just by simply doing some of this stuff. Right, okay, we've done one quad, we're going to do the other. Next quad, let's do it. So I'm going to get on just below the crease of the hip, okay, the top of your quads, and we're going to explore those quads. So I'm going to go side to side, working my way down to my kneecap, and I don't want you to necessarily rush this part. Try and stay relaxed. The purpose of this is I'm trying to get to know my quads. I'm trying to see what painful spots I've got to work with, maybe identify the worst ones that I could be doing with. And look at me, I'm going for a full roll, left and right. Trying to keep the muscle relaxed, applying as much pressure as you can, okay? And then when you get down just above the kneecap, go back up, same thing, side to side. Work against the grain, side to side, move up a wee bit, side to side, move up a wee bit more, until we get back to the start again. And the purpose of this is, just so you can see how good or bad your quads are, okay? And maybe potentially identify some areas of high pain. So I've done that now. If you haven't, you can catch up. But I'm back up to the top of my quads, and now I'm just going to start working my way down until I find that area of high pain. There it is, kind of. Okay, so here's a good example. I can feel the area of high pain. It's quite a large area. Just trying to isolate exactly where it's coming from. Okay, so I'm pushing down. Big scrub, side to side, left to right. Muscle starts to relax a wee bit, start to get more weight on. Oh, there we go. So I found the worst part of where the pain's coming from. So now I'm going to push that into the foam roller. Hold it there for a few seconds. Focus on my breathing. Try to achieve that nice relaxed state of the muscle tissue. And then continuing to try to keep it relaxed. Start loading up the weight onto it, okay? And then you can start introducing you're scrubbing, rolling left to right, up and down. Use the foam roller. Use all those little mountains, valleys, nooks and crannies of that foam roller if it's got it, which it probably will have. And like I've said, there is no set way. You can start contract, relax. You can start smashing and flossing if you like, okay? But just try to get as much weight on that area as you can and be proactive. If it feels horrible, get into it, okay? As opposed to sitting off to the left or right of it, because it feels nice there, okay? Get on it. So same detail, everyone. Work at your own pace. I'll just simply now tell you when we're going to move further down. So we're spending 2 minutes on this quality area, so we've got another good minute left. Good work. "30 more seconds, so really go for it now. This should be you handling the pain well, trying to stay relaxed, smashing the hell out of it, okay? Feeling like you're really getting stuck into it, making a difference now, okay? Combine all the techniques. And if you're doing a technique and it feels like it's doing nothing, then don't bother with it. Simple as that. Oh, I tell you what. Okay, right. We're going to take a breather again, so you can stand up if you like. I'm just going to stay kneeling, otherwise I disappear. Okay, get a sip of water if you need one. Same quad. Continuing where we just left off with a wee breather. So now I'm back on it. I'm going side to side. Okay, and I'm working on it. So let's do it. So we spend 2 minutes, or maybe a wee bit more, give or take, working on that one area of high pain, trying to get a bit of goodness back into it, okay? So I'm a wee bit further down my quads now, looking for a new area. Didn't take long to find it. There it is. I'm getting stuck into it. Okay, so get it relaxed, get as much weight on it, keep scrubbing away at it, combine, contract, relax, smash and floss, and just continually trying to break up that area of high pain, okay? And I'll meet you back here in 2 minutes. Feeling better. Now, if your face is all screwed up with pain, okay, you're definitely not in a relaxed state. Okay, so try not to spend 2 minutes with your face screwed up. And I know sometimes it's not easy, especially if it's that bad. And remember with those lower backs, especially in this position, just watch you're not overextending that lower back too much and putting too much strain on that lower back, okay? So that's something we've got to watch, that we're not sitting like this all the time going, ah! Right. Start thinking about finishing up there. Get your ball, and now we're going to simply repeat what we've done on the other side, okay? If you need to stand up and shake out, by all means, go for it, but we are getting straight into it, making the most of it this morning. Ball, leg out, on the inside of the quads, around the kneecap, okay? And I'm going to start Try to get your body in a relaxed position, okay? Don't be all the way up here holding something dodgy that you're getting tired from. Try to get yourself as relaxed as you can. Woo, okay? And just start your big circles around that area that we're after, okay? And if you feel you're not quite on it, rather than move your knee into a stupid position, just move the ball with your hand, okay? And that feels pretty nasty. It doesn't feel too good at all. But start off with the big circles, smash the entire area until I start to feel like I'm getting stuck in there a bit more. Until I start to feel like I've found the worst part, which is pretty much the full area. Once you feel like you've found what feels like the most painful spot, if you like, get it, pin it hard to the floor, push as much weight into it. Almost feels like toothache, okay? Almost. Don't quite know what toothache's like, not really had it, but I'd imagine that's what it's like. So I'm pushing down hard into this ball. Don't be fooled by this relaxed looking posture of mine here. This is hellish, okay? So I'm focusing on my breathing. Try to take my mind off the pain, but at the same time, make sure I'm actually on it. And I'm just going to start little circles, trying to break up that muscle tissue. You can lift the foot off the ground, which will put more weight on, but be conscious that you don't do that and your muscles tense up to fight it, okay? We're trying to stay relaxed as we smash this thing into the ball. Play around with angle, okay? And it's pretty obvious what you're trying to do here, okay? Push down hard, keep relaxed and smash the hell out of it. Always a go-to spot for people that start to get knee pain. Try not to venture too far up the quads, but if you feel that the pain's further up and it's worse further up, then so be it. Okay, get up there, but for most people, it is close to that kneecap. Good. So you can see now, I never promote this as nice and relaxing, feel good stuff, but one thing's for sure, you're getting a hell of a lot out of it. And we're putting a lot of goodness back into your body, but it comes at the price of pain quite often. It's mentally draining as well, it's tiring. Spending 45 minutes to an hour inflicting quite a high level of pain upon yourself. It does get quite, could do with a wee lie down after this. Oofed. Right, okay, so we're done. I want you to either go onto the top of the kneecap or out to the side or both, okay? So the next 2 minutes, it's your choice, okay? So all I'm doing, I'm going to do a bit of both. So I'm simply going to lie on it, move it down, oh, boom, there's my kneecap. I don't want to be on that, I want to just go up a little bit, okay? Where all that muscle tissue for me is feeling pretty knotted up tight because we don't do this too often. I haven't done it since way before Christmas, okay? And we're going to get stuck in with our side to side, up and down. You're trying to identify problem areas for you, okay? So it's no sense in you just watching me, right? He's doing that bit, I better do that bit. Foam rolling simple, you do it off of feel. Get on the ball, look for pain, deal with the pain, make it better. It's also worth mentioning, I'm telling you that we're spending 2 minutes on an area to improve that area before we move on. Now, the end goal is no pain, but if it's that bad, you're not going to get rid of all that pain in 2 minutes. It's going to take time, it's going to take multiple sessions. Okay, but the idea is an improvement would be, I can now put a lot of weight on this ball and move around, or my foam roller, put a lot more force into this and deal with it and stay relaxed compared to what I could 2 minutes ago. That's an improvement, okay? But I thought this morning we'll get straight into pairing up the two big, powerful muscle groups, the quads and the hammies, which no doubt you're having fun with now, okay? So go for it. 45 seconds left. If you want to move on to the outer, or if you're not, and you want to move on to the upper, or you just want to stay on that one area, whatever feels like you're getting a bit of goodness done. Good, right. That is us done with the quads in terms of mobility. As always, we're going to combine mobility with flexibility, and we're going to stretch these quads out. Okay, now I encourage you, you can do this one lying down, but you can never quite get the same stretch on the quads when you do it lying down, so I'd encourage you to stand up now. So we're going to do the classic quad stretch, okay? So I'm going up against the wall. You can do it without it, but you're just going to end up farting about, jumping about all over the place, trying to keep your balance. So hold on to something. All I want you to do is grab a hold of where your laces are tied if you've got them on, okay? Then pull your knees so that your knees are squeezed together, okay? From here, you might feel the tightness already, okay? And the idea is, rather than, if you look at my back, I don't want to start leaning back, I don't want to start overextending my lower back. Keep my knees together, keep them squeezed together. I'm going to push my butt through, squeeze my butt through until I feel that contraction on my quads. Now I'm continually, imagine you're at the top of a glute bridge. Squeeze, 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 continually. With this stretch, it's so easy to get distracted. You have to concentrate, okay? Push through, continually trying to take it further and further. Like I say, it's so easy to ease off without thinking about it or fart about. Focus on your breathing, take it further, squeeze the butt through, feel that stretch running up the front of your thighs, the full length of the quads, getting a good sweep, and just make sure that you don't arch that back. Hold it. So you have to be proactive with this one. It's so easy just to hold a half-arse position. It's a pretty standard stretch. No really any other way to stretch the quads out effectively. We can add bands, etc. Right, ease out there. Change legs. So I want you to grab the laces, pull the knees together, push the hips through, and just focus on that breathing, and ideally hold on to something, otherwise you're going to look like me falling all over the place. So I'm just going to simply lean against the wall. Focus on your breathing. Pulling that foot into your bum, keep the knees together, squeeze the butt as if you're at the top of a glute bridge and feel that good stretch running up the front. So that's a good bit of quality time we've spent on the quads, okay? Hamstrings, they're not going to take long at all. We'll be done and dusted with them pretty quick. But you are going to need a chair, okay? So while you're holding this, have a think, where's my chair? Or a coffee table, okay? To give you an idea, that bench that's sat there, I'm going to be sat on that. So you need something that your leg can kind of hang over at 90 degrees. It's not the end of the world. If you don't have that, don't disappear. You can do it on the floor. But if you're at home and you can get a chair or anything like that, then we're going to use it. Point to note, it has to be hard. It doesn't work if it's a soft chair. It needs to be something that you're going to be sitting on that ball and that ball cannot sink into it. Okay. Now don't stress if you've just got the floor. You can use the floor. But I would rather you had a chair. And it'll make sense as to why. Right, we're done there, okay? If you want to hold that quad stretch longer, you absolutely can, but we're not wasting our time with the easy stuff. We're going to get stuck in to the tough stuff. Okay, so you're going to need your chair. You're going to need, to give you a quick idea, the ball's going under here, and I'm just going to be simply sat like this, doing a bit of that, okay? Simple. But you can do it on the floor. The problem is with the floor, you have to keep the legs straight. Okay, again, it's not the end of the world. It's just if you want the best out of it, you're better off on a chair. So if you don't have the means of doing so and you are on the floor, obviously the only thing you can't do is start bending this leg. Okay, that's the only difference. So I'm going to get stuck into it. All I want you to do, get the ball, and I want you to put it on the chair or whatever you're on, coffee table, etc., and just sit on it. Okay, again, you can move the ball with your hand rather than rolling about and falling off. Now I want you to sit on this ball. Now, I don't want you to sit on the butt cheek, okay? So we've got our glutes, and I always say the glutes, just, take your hand and grab a hold of them. I want you to go underneath the glutes, okay? So where the glutes start, where your butt cheek starts, that's the top of the hamstrings. That's where I'm at just now, okay? And what I'm trying to do is simply get that ball into the hamstrings, okay? Imagine you have to be relaxed. So all I'm trying to do, you should feel that ball just slowly disappear in the muscle tissue, envelop it. Okay, so I'm pushing down, I've achieved that relaxed state. Now the fun begins, okay? So I want you to try and keep that relaxed state. Focus on your breathing. Treat it like the foam roller. What am I doing? I start to go side to side, full width of the hamstrings, okay? And what I want you to do here is the same, okay? You should be telling me what to do by now. What are we trying to do? We're trying to look for an area of high pain, okay? So I'm going the full width of my hamstrings, side to side, okay? And if you feel like that ball's just kind of losing control a wee bit, just get your hand under there and reset it. So all I'm doing, side to side. Now, why are we doing it on a chair? People, quite often, when they do the hamstrings, they get the foam roller, just similar to the quads, they lie on the foam roller and try to find it like that. The hamstrings are too thick, they're too dense, okay? The foam roller, you might feel you can get something from it, but in order to get really stuck deep into those muscle tissue, into that muscle tissue, you need the ball for it, okay? And that's why sitting on the seat is far superior, okay? We can get really stuck deep into the hamstrings. So push into the ball, roll around on it, okay? Find that area of high pain. I've found plenty of them, and I know there's plenty of them in my hamstrings. So I've found ground zero. It feels absolutely awful. So I'm just going to start my scrubbing. Now, what you can do in this position, if you're sat down or even if you're lying on the floor, is you can start to pin the area and you can start leaning forward. Now, when you lean forward, you're going to be lengthening out those hamstrings, okay, which may well expose that area more. So then while you're leaning forward, you can get really stuck into it. Okay, simple as that. Up and down, side to side. Pin it, and then you can sit back up. Okay, so while you pin that painful spot, you can. This is our kind of method for smashing and flossing here, is simply leaning forward and backwards. Now, be careful here, okay? Not everybody starts panicking. Everybody starts panicking when you mention the sciatic nerve, okay? It is running down there, okay? So if you're lying flat on the floor, it's much more exposed. Here, not so much, but you still are liable to hit it. Basically, if you start to feel pins and needles or your toes start jumping up and down, or I don't know, like I say, your eyelid starts flickering, then just watch, okay? Just ease off of that area, okay? So if you feel anything nervy, any sort of pins and needles, just ease off. You might hit it, okay? It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. Side to side, up and down. Hopefully you're feeling this with me, okay? Hopefully you're being proactive with it. Play around with it, there's no right or wrong, okay? I can lift this leg up now, I can straighten the leg out as such, okay? I can lift it up. Now, my chair's not quite high enough, I could probably do with supporting this up a wee bit higher, because my legs are a wee bit too long for it, but we can smash and floss the same way we do the quads here, lengthening and shorten, and again, play around with your position, lean forward a bit. If, for example, you lift this leg up and it feels like hell, okay, don't be in a rush to simply put it back down. If you lift up and you've exposed and it feels like hell, hold that area and do a bit of scrubbing in that area where it feels awful, okay? You've hit the money, remember. So we're looking for that area of high pain. So just like the quads, oh my. Just like the quads, okay, we're going to spend a good 2 minutes on this area that feels awful, and then we're going to move on to a second one. So a lot of the time, people foam roll their hamstrings using the foam roller, lying down, rolling backwards and forwards, and it feels all right. There's no pain there. Okay. Oh, hallelujah, the steam's gone away. It's bizarre. That must be it. I need to work this one out. My theory is, because the camera gets pretty hot when it's recording, always take the lens cover off if you're bored. I'm just talking you through it while we're doing something. Always take the lens cover off to try and let it kind of equalise. And it always starts off fine, then usually about 10 minutes into the class it starts to steam up. I think it's because inside it's getting hot, but outside it's Baltic. You reckon that sounds logical, but I don't know how am I supposed to combat that unless I was to get in here the same temperature as inside the can. Bizarre, crazy. Okay, any suggestions? Just start doing it at home with the central heating on, instead of in here. Anyway, we're going to move on. Move on to the next spot, okay? So for me, you're not the same as me, we're all different, okay? I would say I was working on the top third of my hamstring. So now I'm going to move further down. Now, if you're on a chair, okay, rather than end up falling backwards on your chair or whatever, or your bench, just remember, move that ball with a hand. Now, you may have to get side on. If you're sat with a chair with a back, you may have to get side on. Just again, common sense and being proactive with it. So I'm moving further down. I would say I'm about halfway down. I'm just using it to give you an idea. Okay. And you'll feel a lot of that. So we're working against big, powerful, imagine big, thick guitar strings, okay? That's what your hamstrings are like. So you'll feel that when you're going side to side, boom, boom, boom. You're working against the grain, okay, of those big guitar strings, boom, okay? Feel an area of potential high pain, scrub it a little bit, get in deeper. And that's why we need the ball for this stuff, okay? We just really need to get in deep, because you could be rolling on that foam roller thinking my hamstrings are all right, when in actual fact they're far from it. We're just not able to get into them the same. So be proactive. There's no set way to do it. Please don't just sit and follow everything that I'm doing, okay? It's all done off of feel, okay? If I lift my leg up in that angle and it feels like it's more painful, okay, that's a bonus. So I'm going to get scrubbing in there, okay? Don't forget, smash and floss. You can try to contract and relax. Simple as that. So this is the second area I'm going to be working on. And we're nearly there, everybody. Nearly there. But I think the winner with this position is the leaning forwards and sitting up while you're pinning that spot there, okay? Because that is us. We pin that painful area to the ball, and then by leaning forward, we're lengthening out the hamstrings, okay, while pinning it. So we're really grinding it against that ball. And it doesn't feel nice, I know it doesn't, but we're getting something from it. Everybody's different, okay? You've all got your own problem areas. If you ever do a muscle group, that's why I like pairing them up. Try and get through big muscle groups, let people get stuck in. Sometimes you don't even realise how bad something is, okay? And what you're potentially doing. So let's say you've never done your hamstrings before, you thought they were all right, and this feels like hell on earth, okay? You weren't expecting it to feel like hell on earth, but it does. What you might have done there is just discover something nice and early before it becomes an issue, okay? Before you pull something out. Because yes, there's certain areas of your body you feel, oh, yep, that's a bit sore, that's a bit tender. But there's some that you don't feel until you actually push onto it, okay? Until you actually get stuck into it. So if the hamstrings, for example, feels like something that needs a lot of work to you right now, look at the position we're in, sat down, okay? So you've not really got an excuse. If you're sat down for work, okay, you're sat down at the dinner table, or you're sat down watching the telly or something like that, you could be doing a bit of this, okay? You absolutely can. Now, it's just about trying to make a habit of it, and that's why I'll always say with these little ball, maybe not so much the foam roller, but the little ball, buy a few of them, leave them lying about the house. If you've got a dog, then you've got no hope. But try to make it part, just so it's always there in your face. You're always aware of it, rather than, oh, where did I put my block? I'll just do it tomorrow. Okay, so there's a lot of times throughout the day, potentially, where you could be doing a bit of this, and it doesn't always have to be, right, we're going to change legs, boom, straight on it. It doesn't always have to be a 45-minute to 60-minute mobility session for you to do this stuff, okay? 2 minutes each side, 2 minutes each leg, that's all it takes to get a bit of an improvement. You throw that into your day randomly, and before you know it, you've accumulated a good bit of time. So I'm back onto my next leg, I'm just below the butt cheek, just below the glutes, which is for a lot of people, to be fair, you'll probably find a lot of pain, me included, okay? And I'm just simply going side to side, until I find that area of high pain, okay? And I don't have to venture too far. Oh, pardon me. Oh, yeah, that's awful. Okay, this side feels hellish. So, you know, I'm not walking around with painful hamstrings. This is a classic example, but when I put this ball in here, it is awful. Okay, so that tells me I need to be working on my hamstrings. Quads, yeah, they're painful, but they're manageable. Or it could be opposite for you. Maybe your quads feel absolutely brutal, and you know now you need to put a bit more work into it. So I'm on the other side, smashing and flossing, left to right, up and down, leaning forwards, leaning backwards, just trying to break up that muscle tissue, because that's all I'm trying to do. Good, and just focus on your breathing. Good. That's us. We're getting there. We're getting there. So it's self-induced massage, okay? That's all it is we're really doing. Deep tissue massage by yourself. Okay, so enjoy it. But again, that comes with problems. It can be quite hard. Well, it does need to be fair. You know, you can feel where the areas of the worst pain are. Someone else, maybe they can, to some degree, feel the problem areas like the knots, etc. But you know exactly where the pain's coming from. You're in your head, you're aware of it. Okay, so that's a bonus. But then the negative is it's quite hard for you to inflict a high level of pain on yourself. Yep, it is, it definitely is. Your brain doesn't want you to. So what the hell are you doing here? But that's why we do it gradually, okay? So you're trying to stay relaxed and you're trying to just separate your mind from that pain as best you can, and that's why the breathing comes in well. And that's why I've realised that I just talk the whole way through these classes. I don't even know what I talk about, and I don't even watch them back either. I just quickly throw them together, edit out the toilet stops, etc. and all the moaning. But I don't even know what I talk about for 60 minutes. You probably don't either. Right, I'm moving on to my next area. That's been a good 2 minutes. You've been proactive, of course you have. You haven't just sat on there looking outside the window, etc. Right, we're on here now. Moving further down, continuing my wee journey. Side to side, side to side. Not feeling much there. Remember, we don't have the time to deal with everything. We've got the time to deal with the areas of high pain. So if it feels a wee bit, ooh, move on until it feels a wee bit like, ah! Good. It's always a good one if you jump, like you'll often see me do unexpectedly when you hit a brutal bit of pain. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for. So here we go, we've pinned it. And there's nothing wrong with just pinning that worst part and just sitting on it and trying to apply more pressure. So it looks to me, and that's exactly what I'm doing now, it looks like I'm just sat here, okay, doing nothing. But I can tell you now, I'm not. I'm pushing down harder and harder and harder, pinning that area which feels like the worst point of it. And then when it feels I've really pinned a good bit of weight down on it, I'm going to start scrubbing, and it's going to feel like hell, but the scrubbing's going to be good. It's going to be a good bit of scrubbing. So we're nearly there. We are nearly there. So don't forget, there's no right or wrong. Have a play around with the position of your leg, your body, and see what you can get out of it. So next up, to finish, we're going to be stretching these bad boys out, okay? With that, you're going to need either your resistance band, if you've got one, okay? If you've got one, if you don't have one, don't stress, you just need a towel. Like I said in the post, a bath towel is better, okay? You don't want a wee stupid hand towel, otherwise you're going to be uncomfortable in a stress position. You need a pretty long towel, okay? So if you don't have that, go and get it now. We're going to move on, and you better be quick, because I'm not waiting for you. Right? So we've done the mobility work, okay? We've tried to restore a bit of range and suppleness to the muscle tissue itself, okay? And now we're going to throw ourselves in to the flexibility, okay? Increase the range of movement of that muscle tissue. So it all works hand in hand. Now this stretch is by far, in my opinion, the best hamstring stretch you can get, okay? We are going to hook the resistance band around the ball of the feet, okay? Simple as that. And then all I'm going to do is get a decent bit of tension on my resistance band. Not too much yet, because you need to get set up in position. Key point, the knee stays locked out. Don't let that knee bend ever, okay? The knee stays locked out, and this other leg stays locked out, but completely dead weight and relaxed into the floor. Okay, so here we go. Pulling on it, I'm going to lie back. I'm going to first of all get my shoulder blades tucked together, pulled together, and on the floor. Relaxed, okay? My upper body is relaxed. From here, yep, I know I could probably take a bit more tension, so I'm going to lean up, pull the resistance band a wee bit more. Now that's better, okay? Now, I'm pulling that resistance band, and as a result, I'm pulling my toes towards me. I'm not fighting it. Don't push the toes into the resistance band. I'm going to keep that knee locked out. Now, beginners, you'll probably be here going, hoot! Bit more advanced, a bit closer to 90 degrees, okay? Either way, wherever you're at, you're taking it to the point in which it feels like it's getting a good damn stretch, like it's almost at maximum stretch, and that's your starting point. You focus on your breathing, and then just try to take it a wee bit further. And I want you to repeat this for 2 minutes, taking it a wee bit further. You're not just lying here, fixed in the one position, you're trying to develop the range of movement, okay? So as a result, we have to go further. And with that, it's going to get more and more uncomfortable the further that you go. But the idea is, over the 2 minutes, you'll be able to go just a wee bit further each. 10 to 15 seconds. So it doesn't feel nice, but it feels like a damn good stretch. Your opposite leg's lying completely flush on the floor, dead weight. And you're taking it a wee bit further again, and just keep that process going. Pull the resistance band, keep the leg relaxed, keep the foot relaxed. Take it a wee bit further. Make sure you don't start bending that knee. If you start bending that knee, all you're doing is shortening the hamstrings and counteracting the whole point of why we're trying to go further. Keep going with it. Be proactive. Take it further. Get better. Stay relaxed. Yep, it's uncomfortable. So when we're stretching, no pain. We should never have pain when we're stretching. High level of discomfort, absolutely. Okay, doesn't feel too great this when we're stretching it, especially at this point now where I've been taking it further and further and further. Doesn't feel too nice, but I'm doing it. Last 20 seconds. This is where you take it to the max. Feels hellish, but you feel relaxed. You can cope with it. Making it better. Out your comfort zone now. Stay relaxed. Feel like a damn good stretch now. Good. And when you're ready, slowly start sitting back up. Whoa, carefully. Okay. Now, if your resistance band's fairly thick and you had a decent bit of tension on it, your handies will be a wee bit sore, so give them a shake. But that's all that should be getting tired, okay? We shouldn't be all tensed up like this going, ah! Okay, and that's where if you've got a really short towel, you'll probably find that that is what's happening. So without further ado, let's finish this off today with the final 2-minute stretch of the other side. Okay, so we're on the other leg now. Key points, remember. Whoa, geez, that side is definitely worse today. Pull the shoulder blades together. Pull the shoulder blades together. Okay, get that position nice and relaxed. Boom, I'm in that position. So now I'm going to lean up, get a bit more tension, pull on that band. Okay, lock the knee out. And this side, as you can, well, you probably can't see, but this side's a bit tighter today. Okay, so you can see I'm nowhere near where I started on the other side. So get that knee locked out, get that foot nice and relaxed, and just get that stretch on, taking it further and further for the next 2 minutes. Don't hold it, keep taking it further. Maintain, no. Develop, yes. Take it further. Last 20 seconds. You go for it now. Okay, let's set up. Let's get that done. Right, a bit of a longer one this morning, but well worthwhile, hopefully for you. Well done. Quads, hamstrings, smashed to the high heavens, stretched out, and hopefully feeling a bit better from it. Remember, it may well feel a little bit tender over the next day or two. Okay, that's normal. Look at what you've just done. Think about what you've just done, although we should not be injuring ourselves. Thank you very much. Hopefully enjoyed that, and I'm open to suggestions for the next mobility class. Boom.